my dear cuties. Welcome to the world of fantasy. How are you, my dear children? All are fine, isn't it? Okay. How many of you have garden at home? Many have. What do you see in the garden? Trees, fruits in the trees, plants, flowers, butterflies on the flowers. Above all, you, my dear children, are playing in the garden, isn't it? Okay. If a tree gives you fruits, what are you doing with that? You are giving the fruits to your neighbors, friends, and relatives. You are too good. That's why God also blessed your garden and you too. Isn't it or not? But here in this story, there is a giant. You know who is called a giant? A tall man with a long legs and long hands is called a giant. But he has a beautiful garden. But he doesn't give any fruits to anyone to his village. And he doesn't permit anyone to enter his garden. So God wants to teach him a lesson to change his mind. Shall we see what does God do to change his mind in this story?
Long ago, there was a big castle in a village, and there was a beautiful garden around this castle. It belonged to a giant. But the giant was not there. He went to stay with his friend Cornish Ogre. Who is Cornish Ogre? Cornish Ogre is the giant's friend. The garden was very beautiful with the flowers, fruits, birds and butterflies. The children came to the garden to play in the afternoon. They loved the garden with all these beautiful butterflies and birds. They were very happy in this garden. One day, the giant came to the village. When he came near his castle, he found the children moving here and there. The giant opened the gates of the garden. The garden's gate also very colorful with all beautiful flowers and climbers. The giant entered the garden very angrily. He saw children sitting in the branches of the trees, eating the fruits, some were catching the butterflies and running here and there. The giant became very angry on seeing this. Immediately he shouted at them, "Get out of my garden. This is my garden, my own garden." The children were afraid of the giant, so some ran away in fear, some jumped over the gate and disappeared. The giant built a compound wall around this garden. He locked the gates of the garden. The children were not permitted to play in it, so they were very sad. They were standing out of the garden, thinking when they could come to play in the garden. The season changed. It was winter season. The village was covered with the snow. The trees were also covered with white frost. Everywhere it was winter. The giant's garden and other gardens in the village were covered with the snow and ice. When winter comes, does the spring be far behind? So what's the next season? Spring season. So in few months, spring season arrived. This season is very colorful, isn't it? So all the gardens bloomed in colors, but the giant's garden was still white in winter. There were no flowers and fruits. On seeing this, the giant was so sad. He didn't know why his garden was still white, not colorful. Many seasons passed like this. The giant was very much worried about his garden. He was looking at his garden through the window. One day, he felt a sweet smell of fragrance and he heard a sweet song of bird after a long time. He peeped through the window and saw the bird. It was sitting on a branch of a tree near the window and singing. It was a cheerful song. The giant also was very much happy to see the bird singing in his garden. Not only he saw the bird, there were many children in the garden. They were running here and there. They were hanging in the branches of the tree very happily and playing. the garden also very colorful now. Once again, there were birds, butterflies, flowers, so colorful in the garden. There were no words to say about the joy of the giant now. The garden got the spring season this time because the children came to the garden through a hole in the wall. But there was a small boy standing under a tree. He was very small and so he could not climb up the tree. The tree also very sad because it also did not get any flowers in its branches. The giant saw this, but this time the giant was not angry on seeing the children. So he came into the garden. He understood that children are the reason for this spring. On seeing the giant, the children started to run. But seeing the giant kind, the children continued to play. The giant came to the small boy. He lifted the boy and placed the boy on the branch of the tree. Once the boy was placed on the branch of the tree also bloomed in beautiful white flowers. The giant also filled with joy and happiness on seeing this tree and the boy on the branch. That day, the giant was playing with the boy. He liked the boy very much because he was his first child companion. Not only he loved this boy, even the other children too. From next day onwards, the giant allowed the children to play in his garden. He broke the compound wall. He understood that children are the most beautiful flowers in this world. So he loved all the children and played with them very happily. Daily the children came to his garden. They played with the giant and went home. The giant also was glad to play with them. Seasons changed. The garden got all the seasons regularly now. The giant was little unhappy that he could not see the boy whom he helped. Even the boy also never visited the garden after that.
Now the giant became good. He loved the children. He allowed the children to play in his garden. So God also blessed the garden with a lot of fruits and flowers. The garden became very lovely and attractive. But the giant never saw the small boy whom he helped to climb on the tree. Many years passed. The giant became very old. He could not move at all. At this moment, a strange thing happened. Shall we see what happened?
One lovely morning, after many years, the giant saw the small boy under the same tree. Actually, how should be the small boy now? He should have grown up well, isn't it or not? But it was not so. How he was some years before, he was in the same age now also. The place where he was standing was glittering very beautifully. The tree was glittering with the silver fruits and branches were gold. On seeing the boy standing under the tree, the giant ran to him. He asked him, "Where have you gone all these days, my dear boy?" The boy said to him, "Once you gave me your garden to play. Now I have come here to take you to my garden." Now the giant understood that he was not a simple boy, but he was God. So he knelt down before the God in prayer. That afternoon, when the children came to the garden, they saw the giant lying dead in the shade of the tree. The dead body of the giant was covered with the beautiful white flowers of the tree. The children were so sad to see this. They also loved the giant now, so they shed tears for the death of this giant. As the giant loved the children, and he opened the gates of his garden to the children, God also opened the gates of the heaven for the giant. So the giant was taken to the heaven by God. The giant was so happy and blessed in the heaven.
Hello, my dear cuties. How you enjoyed this story? Yes. What do you understand from this story? When the giant was selfish, when he did not allow anyone to play in his garden, God also did not give any fruits and flowers to his garden. When he changed his mind, when He loved the children, when He allowed the children to play in His garden, God also gave lot of fruits and flowers to His boy. Even after His death, He was taken to the heaven by God. So to receive the blessings of God, we must be selfless. We should not be selfish. Okay, children, will you follow that? Next time, I will meet you with some other story. Till then,